So everybody loves new construction, right? Well, maybe not, but if you are thinking about building a brand new home in the Phoenix metro area, then there's a couple of things that I really think you should be aware of. That's why in this video today, I'm going to share with you 5, there's probably more, but 5 common pain points or painful truths to the new build construction process. But here's the deal. If you know about them up front and you're prepared for them, well, when they do pop up, the pain is a whole lot less than it might otherwise have been. So without any further ado, let's hop right into this. Here's pain point number 1. Not all homes fit on all lots within the same community. Here's what I mean. Let's say you've gone online, you found a builder that you really like, you've looked at their floor plans and you fell in love with a particular floor plan. Then you drove over to the community, and while you're driving around, you saw this available lot exactly where you wanted it, and you thought, man, that house on that lot, could it possibly get any better than that? Well, what you may not be aware of is that that house that you fell in love with may not fit on the lot that you fell in love with. You see, builders will generally have 2 or 3 different series of homes within their communities, and each series the homes are going to be different sizes, and so they'll have various lots set aside for each series of homes. So the home you fell in love with might be in Series 1, but the lot that you fell in love with belongs in Series 3. And Series 1 home won't fit on Series 3, or maybe it could fit on Series 3, but Series 3 is reserved for a different series of homes, so you can't put that home on that particular lot. I actually had this happen with a client just a couple of months ago. He loved this house, he loved that lot, but guess what? They didn't go together, and it really is disappointing and it is painful. So before actually committing to a home or a lot, you just want to make sure that the 2 go together. All right, now pain point number 2, and this is a big one, is the actual time it takes the builder to build the home. You know, back before COVID, we were looking at build times of, 5 to 7 months or so, but then COVID hit, and well, we all know what happened. Build times went way out of control. There were product shortages, labor shortages, supply chain issues, and build times exploded up to 14, 16 months. I even had one client recently closed on a home. It was 22 months from the time they signed their contract to the time they moved into their home. Well, things are getting better now, and we're starting to see that build time come down. Builders are now starting to tell us 8 to 12 months generally, depending on the size of the home, but that's a whole lot better than what we saw maybe just a year ago. But here's something you probably didn't know, and that is buried deep within that contract is a little clause that gives the builder up to 24 months to complete your home. So they can quote you 8 to 10 months, but they actually have 24 months in which to complete it. Now, I haven't seen any builders who want to drag the process out to 24 months, and honestly, let's be real, they want to get paid, and they don't get paid until they close on the home. But just know that that clause is in every builder's contract. And the other thing is, they choose your close date. So if you're trying to get into a house by a certain time, like starting a new job or the kids going back to school, well, the builder doesn't have to meet your timeline. They meet their timeline. And if you can get the 2 to match up, that's great. But it always comes down to the builder's timeline. So keep that in mind, because that is a pain point. And when it does pop up, at least if you know about it, you'll be able to get through it just a little bit easier. All right, so painful truth number 3, and this is also another big one. This has to deal with pricing and maybe the transparency of pricing. You know, perhaps one of the reasons you stopped in at a particular community was because you saw that big sign out front proclaiming homes from the low 600,000s or whatever it is. Now, it's important to know that the price listed on that sign, the one on the price sheet, or on the builder's website is a base price. That from the price applies to the smallest home in the series. It's the most basic home with the most basic features on just the smallest, most basic lot. There's no upgrades involved at all. Now, most builders' floor plans come along with options where you can bump out a wall or make a flex room into a den or put in a walk-in shower instead of a tub, those kind of things. And those things are all called structural upgrades, and every one of those structural upgrades comes with a price associated with it. But wait, that's not all, because remember, that price that we saw was on the basic home with basic features, and I don't know anybody that's ever just bought the basic home. So the next stop in your process is going to be the design center. Now this is where you'll pick out all of your interior upgrades. The two things that most buyers upgrade right off the bat is the flooring and the kitchen. Now there's a lot of other upgrades that you can select as well, but many of these things you can actually do on your own at a later time. Now be careful that you don't go overboard. You don't have to upgrade anything, but most buyers are spending maybe 15 to 20% of the base price of the home on their upgrades. So you want to make sure you factor that into your budget, because if you don't, well, you're going to see a number you didn't expect, and believe me, that is a pain point. Remember how we talked about lots just a minute ago? Well, let's take a little closer look at these lots as well. Every development will have their standard lot size, but there will be bigger lots available or lots that are more desirable than others, and that's based on their location or the view that they provide. Maybe they're a corner lot. Well, these lots all have associated costs with them as well. Now, these additional costs for the lots are called lot premiums. And of course, it depends on the builder and the location and everything, but a general range of lot premiums could be anywhere between $5,000 and $70,000. But in some communities, I've actually seen lot premiums that are pushing the $200,000 range and more. So just remember, you have your base price, plus your structural upgrades, plus your design center upgrades, plus your lot premium. And when you put all of that together, that is your final sales price for the home. So again, that sign might say from the low 600,000s, but by the time you move in, you're probably 680, 690, maybe even over $700,000. And like I said a second ago, if you're not prepared for that number, ouch, that can really hurt. All right, now pain point number 4 is you're going to be living in a construction zone. And the sooner you get into a community, well, the longer you're going to have to live with construction taking place. You know, sometimes you can barely even get down the streets because there's construction trucks parked all over. There might be cement trucks. There's people and construction workers everywhere. There might even be materials that are being stored in the street. And you might be thinking, when is this ever going to be done? Well, just keep in mind that those who came before you had to endure the construction of your home. So just remember, you're going to have to endure the construction of all the homes that come after you. As long as you recognize that, then it's a whole lot easier. Okay, let's move on to pain point number 5. And this is the last one that I'm going to talk about, and that's the cost of the home after you've already purchased the home. Now, these are all the things that you purchase after you move into the house. Things such as window coverings or ceiling fans, or maybe you had a front landscape package with your home, but the backyard is just going to be a flat graded area that's going to need to be landscaped. And if we're being real here, most people always add at least 1 or 2 new pieces of furniture to go with the new house. Heck, when we built our latest house, I think we sold all of our furniture and outfitted the whole house with brand new stuff. So just because you've moved in doesn't mean you're done shelling out the money. So just remember, there's costs after you move in. Keep that one in mind. Now, I know I've talked about the bad parts of new construction, the pain points, that kind of stuff. And I don't want this to be a Debbie Downer video where all we talk about is the negative, because there really are some good parts to building a new construction home as well. In fact, I love new construction. We sell a lot of it, and we're here to help you. So here's a big benefit of building a new construction home, and that is you get peace of mind knowing that your home is fresh and clean. Now, I don't want to get too graphic here, but at least with a new build home, you know that the carpet is free from pet urine, toenails, dead skin cells, or whatever else might have traveled through a resale home on the bottom of other people's shoes. And with a new construction home, you get a home that you designed in a new neighborhood where everyone else is also new to the area. And because you're all kind of in the same boat, well, that makes it super easy for you all to meet each other and become friends. And some of these relationships that you form in this new community could actually last a lifetime. As an Arizona native, I have spent my entire life here in the Southeast Valley, and I've watched this area grow from farmland to this urban environment that it is today. And over the last several years, I've worked very closely with the home builders in the area, and I've developed some pretty good relationships with them. I say that so that if you are considering a move to Queen Creek or Santan Valley and new construction is kind of on your radar, well, then I invite you to give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. So I'm going to put my contact information at the end of this video, and in fact, it's coming up right now.